I was the family failure until I inherited everything, and watched them suddenly remember my name. Growing up, I was the family disappointment. While my cousins were getting their MBAs and law degrees, I was spending every weekend at Old Man Frank's bee farm, coming home covered in propolis and smelling like smoke. By 18, I dropped out of college after one semester to work full-time at his apiary. My family acted like I'd joined a cult. Every holiday was the same humiliation ritual. Thanksgiving dinner, my Aunt Diane would go around the table bragging about her kids. Derek just got promoted to senior analyst at Goldman Sachs, and Chloe's wedding planning business is booming. She just did a $200,000 wedding in the Hamptons. Then she'd look at me with this pitying smile. And Noah is still playing with his bugs, right? Like I was some grown man collecting insects in jars. My mom would change the subject quickly, embarrassed. At Christmas, they'd give everyone else thoughtful, expensive gifts. I'd get a cheap vanilla candle from Target if anything. During family photos, they'd literally position me in the back corner like I was photobombing my own family. The worst was my cousin Derek's engagement party 2 years ago. I brought my girlfriend Rachel thinking maybe having someone successful with me would help. She was a nurse. But when Derek's fiance asked what I did for work, and I said I managed 60 hives and was learning queen breeding, she actually laughed. "Oh, that's cute," she said, then turned to talk to someone else. Rachel broke up with me a week later, saying she needed someone more ambitious. That night, I made a decision. No more family events. I blocked most of them on social media and started building my own life. I moved into the cabin on Frank's property and dove deeper into beekeeping. Frank was this eccentric old bachelor who wore the same patched overalls every day and lived in a farmhouse that looked ready to collapse. Everyone thought he was just some broke recluse scraping by selling honey at the farmer's market. We'd spend hours in the bee yard, him teaching me to read the hives by sound alone. He taught me everything. How to breed queens with genetics from Slovenian carniolans, how to harvest propolis that pharmaceutical companies would pay top dollar for, how to produce rare varietal honeys that Michelin-starred chefs would fight over. Listen to them, he'd say, ear pressed against a hive. They're telling you everything you need to know. For 3 years, I didn't speak to my family except for the occasional text from my mom asking when I was going to get a real job. I ignored them all. Frank became like the grandfather I never had. Every Tuesday, we'd sit on his porch drinking mead, and he'd tell me stories about importing his first queen bees from Slovenia in the 70s, about selling honey to famous restaurants before farm to table was even a thing. Then Frank had a stroke. I found him collapsed between the hives that Thursday morning, his smoker still burning beside him. At the hospital, he grabbed my hand and whispered, "You're the only one who ever listened to the bees. They chose you, not me." He died that weekend. I was devastated. Frank was the only family that mattered to me. A week later, his lawyer called. Mr. Brennan called, his voice shocked. "Mr. Noah, I need you to come to my office immediately. There's been a development regarding Francis's estate." I figured maybe Frank left me a few hives in his old truck. I drove to the lawyer's office downtown, expecting a quick meeting. Instead, Mr. Brennan handed me a thick folder. "Francis has left you his entire estate, 847 acres of prime farmland, the apiary operation with over 400 hives, his rare queen bee bloodlines that are internationally registered, existing contracts with 3 luxury hotel chains and 7 high-end restaurants, and approximately $8.3 million in various accounts." I couldn't speak. Frank in his patched overalls and broken truck had been sitting on a fortune. Turns out he'd been quietly buying farmland for decades when it was cheap. His honey operation wasn't just some farmer's market side hustle. He was supplying some of the most exclusive establishments in the country with honey that sold for $200 a jar. "There's also this," Mr. Brennan said, handing me a handwritten letter. "Noah, you're the only person who understood it was never about the money. It's about the bees, the land, the connection to something older than us. Those queen bloodlines took me 40 years to perfect. Take care of them. Take care of the land. You're worth more than your family ever realized. The bees know. They always knew. Francis." I sat in my truck outside the lawyer's office and cried. Within 48 hours, somehow word had gotten out. My phone started buzzing with texts I hadn't seen in 3 years. Cousin Derek. "Hey man, heard about your inheritance. We should grab dinner soon. I've got some investment ideas." Aunt Diane. "Noah, honey, I've been thinking about you so much lately. Would you like to come to Sunday dinner this week?" My mom called sobbing. "I'm so sorry we didn't support you, sweetheart. I always knew you were special." But the most pathetic was my ex-girlfriend Rachel. She texted, "I saw the news about your inheritance. I never stopped thinking about you. Maybe we could get coffee and talk. Next weekend is my mom's birthday party. For the first time in 3 years, I'm invited. Actually, I'm not just invited. I'm the guest of honor. Mom wants to celebrate my success and bring the family back together. I'm going, but not for the reasons they think. I'm going to honor Frank's memory by showing them exactly who I am now. Sometimes the black sheep becomes the shepherd."